I'm guessing Toulon is gonna get his revenge in this one, as it's called Puppet Master 3 Toulon's Revenge. And I must say, it's about time. I've now seen Toulon die multiple times, and as different actors. He needs his revenge in this prequel film that takes place 50 years before Puppet Master 2. Speaking of which, just in case you forgot the events of Puppet Master 2, don't you worry. In that one, Toulon was moonlighting as Darkman, who was able to become a real boy by invading a bed and breakfast till the puppets all had enough of his shit and didn't really want to look at his creepy mannequin face anymore. There were more mannequins, though, as Camille the psychic drove off in a mannequin of Toulon's wife Elsa, and with the puppets in tow. Is she now the new Puppet Master? Do you even remember who Camille is? Don't beat yourself up over it. Camille is never mentioned again. Released in 1991, only a year after the second, this one is set in 1941, where Toulon's ability to bring puppets to life has become the top priority of the Fuhrer. And also, there's questions as to how this is even happening, since the first one said Toulon killed himself in 1939. I shouldn't be so confused by Puppet Master lore! This time out, the movie was written by C. Courtney Joyner, who would later write Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys, and this was the first of 5 Puppet Master movies directed by David DeCoteau. Or I'm shocked that one isn't called 1313 Puppet Master. Full Moon Entertainment better not let me down. Don't make me regret renting this from the video store on a Friday night. As the movie starts, I don't know, it all seems quiet so far. Look, some businesses are just closing up for the night, till we hear some sinister voices.
Great year. I don't know how long I'll be.
Ooh, you sound awfully Reiki. Not a surprise that this is his next line.
I live.
Whatever, I don't care. Here we have Dr. Hess studying the effects of anyone who weirdly eats Snickers with a knife and fork. The signs were there this entire time that Mr. Pitt has some kind of past with the Nazis and puppets. And the last thing I saw Richard Lynch in was the second episode of Manimal, where he was a Bulgarian smuggler who tried pinning a crime on a tiger, and then this happened. So this role really is par for the course. Here he's Major Krause, who wants the Doctor to bring corpses back to life, and it seems to be working. You idiot, do you know how much Mezzo Mix we had to inject in the man to bring him back? This time out, Toulon is played by Guy Rolfe. Excellent choice. He was in Dolls, by the way, and the kids love this classic puppet show act. General Dwight Schrute is not at all intrigued by this amateur production of Inglourious Bastards. And the puppets even give the kids candy afterwards.
Spitbones everywhere, look! It's a good job you put plenty of candy into Peter's pocket.
We're confused, Toulon. Are we supposed to like the Hitler puppet now? He gave us candy, but we don't much like his ideas. The whole time, he's been watched over by Lieutenant Stein, Krause's driver, and also a puppeteer, who was insulted by Toulon's so-called satire. Why is this starting out like a puppet version of The Day the Clown Cried? They're like, don't trust this man. Look at him. He has resting Sieg Heil face.
For your own sake, you might consider changing the subject matter of your shows.
The Fuhrer understands that if your show goes woke, it must go broke. Toulon was an ass in the last movie, but seems nice enough here. He's very friendly towards the puppets as he powers them with liquid kryptonite supplied by his lovely wife Elsa. Yet they don't think to close the windows. Luckily for you, he's the dumbest Nazi outside of a Looney Tunes cartoon.
hell is going on out here? I have Daffy Duck's mallet and I'm not afraid to use it.
Ah, perfect. These photos will prove the puppets are alive. You'll just have to trust me. They move like watching Santa's Christmas elf named Calvin. It's a picture, but they're alive. Life still seems good for the two. Look at his gift tour, which, God, it's not gonna watch us when we have sex, is it?
It's beautiful.
She is the image of you.
That's what you think of me? They've got other problems.
I may be wrong, but it seems as though these wooden figures are walking about on their own.
Yes, wow, that was easy. I didn't need to shoot it on film after all.
Movies like this always have that random picture of Hitler in the background, as if he's keenly listening in on the conversation. Get Donald Duck to work at immediately assembling these puppets. The movie gives me something I never thought I'd see. General Gogol from the Bond films, surrounded by a group of naked women giving him a sponge bath. Did I catch you at a bad time, General Gogol? Please, in this film, I'm General Mueller. I get way more action in these films. And everyone's a critic, especially the Gestapo.
This theater is closed.
I stayed up all night thinking of that line. It was either that or no one expects the German Inquisition. The intrusion we can handle, but there's no reason to be a rude house guest.
Take what you want, you bastards, and get out of here.
Take the Clark Gable cowboy puppet. We will put it on the Reich's eBay account. Don't worry about Elsa, lest you forget Camille is now the Elsa puppet after he wanted to reincarnate her or something. Dr. Hess didn't even know Krauss would be such a dick.
God, Kraus, that wasn't necessary.
Not wiping your shoes off upon entering was just bad manners. Revenge is happening quickly in this. The puppets don't want to be in the German army, they want to be on stage, damn it! Let's take a break so they can polish off their gold statue of the master from Manos. If you like this Cinema Snob episode and want to vote on future episodes yourselves, join our Patreon at patreon.com/thecinemasnob, where it was a very tight race before Puppet Master 3 won, only 2% higher than the stock 5th choice Square Dance. Totally agree with the comments. Too soon for Square Dance to win. It's gotta pay its dues first. Something short of Paradise took years to win. And yes, clearly not enough people know about the awesomeness of Jack Death from Trancers. All of this and more at patreon.com/thecinemasnob. Join us today. We're back, and Richard Lynch villain roles keep showing me that no one smokes cigarettes more villainy than Richard Lynch. That's about all he was doing in the Manimal episode. They forgot to search the place even more, though. Best return to the scene of the crime. No, that was the wacky comic relief neighbor in the next show! Joking aside, Richard Lynch is a pretty great villain in this. If you want someone to Klaus Kinski the hell out of their role in a movie, he's a good guy to do it. Guy Rolfe is good in it too. Granted, I'm not entirely sure how we go from here to what we saw here, but he's believable as a dude who just lost his wife and is pouring his soul out to some puppets who are like,
I don't know, do we hug him or something?
I also like the direction here. It was a direct-to-video flick, but you can tell they wanted it to look good. Give David DeCoteau a budget and he can do the job fine. His movies don't always look like a talking cat. They do some cool stuff with the lighting, too. The cinematography is by Adolfo Bartelli, who's been around a long time and did lighting on From Russia with Love, some uncredited work on The Sound of Music, and he did camera work on Iron Warrior, which was an Ator movie that actually did have really spectacular cinematography in it. Like a lot of these early ones, the effects work is awesome, between Kevin McCarthy of Return of the Living Dead and Hellraiser 3, and Mark Rappaport of Demonic Toys, Robot Jocks, and 300. The puppets have got some killing to do on their own right now. Toulon is busy making his wife's face look more so like the puppet he made of her, as not to be embarrassed later. Given the reaction of this guy, I'm guessing this happens all the time.
What are you doing?
Appropriate response to walking in on puppets with a dead body. And this is easier anyway. Just make your dead wife a doll by using her green soul juice. He's gonna bang that puppet, isn't he? Not sure how this is gonna work out, since he still tries putting her in other things 50 years later. People often forget that sometimes it can be a pain in the ass being a driver for a Nazi.
Have your car ready. Have yourself ready. Have your asshole ready.
It's too late to ask what the hell he meant by that, as Krauss will have to find a new driver after Stein is rightfully confused to death and given the slap treatment. As for trying to reanimate corpses, I guess they're showing some improvements.
This is excellent, Major.
Oh yeah, he just simply put an unloaded gun in his mouth and keeled over. He's fine. Get him out on the battlefield immediately. Plus, Krauss is busy mourning Stein.
You're not my driver. There's Lieutenant Stein.
Dead, sir.
Oh well, that's a bummer. Take me to the nearest Wiener Schnitzel. They're getting away with this because Indiana Jones had no interest in showing up to stop them. His job is to put Nazi treasures in a museum, not in a daycare center, and quit making a bigger mess. This is why we stopped taking you to the carnival. They have found a new hideout where they can continue on with their studies and plotting for revenge.
Tomorrow we start all over again, killing murderers in the middle of a war.
Yes, and if there's time, we will still practice our show for how the West was won. They still keep their sense of humor alive.
Now be careful. Muller will be well armed. Of course, so are you.
Was that a joke about his multiple arms? Even for Berlin in 1941, you're being too dry, Master. No matter, Toulon is dressed in his finest Blinken costume to send his agent where, again, I'm impressed with how this looks, but never thought I'd have to cut around a sex scene featuring Walter Gotell and Michelle Bauer of Night Dreams and Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. People continue with their normal reactions to heavily armed puppets. It's just like their continued reactions to another one of them dying.
Mueller's been killed.
I'm coming with you.
I love Wiener Schnitzel. They get their biggest fans involved with their plot. It's Peter, the kid with the candy. I don't have free tickets to give away at the moment, but I could send you in guns a-blazing with a 6-shooter. That would really help. You know, since he left behind evidence of their multiple arms.
God. I should have known.
Just as I thought, bring me the cast of Terror of Tiny Town immediately. The boy has a way that they can get out of this. He'll simply sell autograph headshots from his role from Deep Space Nine. Everyone in town is looking for Toulon. Look at this. The Nazis spent 5 cents at the local office max to print out this picture and send it via fax everywhere. Hess finally thinks that Krauss is going too far. What did you think was gonna happen? He can't even bring himself to say hello anymore.
Heil Hitler.
I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response. As for Peter and the puppets, they're really getting to know each other. Bad touch! They have to be very quiet. The soldiers from Omega Theta Pi are keeping the place under heavy watch. Even Matthew Faison is taking extra precautions here. This is a man who had to deal with Jason Voorhees ruining his paintball game, and Freddy Krueger left him with no students and Freddy's dead. He's got to keep all the kids safe. Especially since Hess is still sciencing like mad. He's gonna create drones used for any establishing shot in a VOD sequel. He'll need some help, though.
You wouldn't volunteer for a medical experiment, would you?
God, no! Also, Dad failed at keeping the boy out of trouble.
Keep that gun in the air!
You discovered our river of chocolate in the factory, didn't you, Air Augustus?
This is an important movie in the series, as it features the creation of the Blade puppet. That's enough for Hess to join up with the puppet resistance. Just play it cool.
Be careful what you say. My friends are very sensitive.
No, pellets hurt. I'm glad this has actors like Ian Abercrombie and Guy Rolfe. They're selling it. These old school pros are acting with puppets and doing their lines as if they're in Boys from Brazil. Oh, and I think Blade is supposed to be modeled after Krauss?
An excellent likeness.
He thinks I look like a Gestapo purge hooligan? Let's take another break. He just finished up his carton of cigarettes for the day and needs to get some more. Come see me at Planet Funk Con on June 28th through the 30th in Davenport, Iowa, where you can get autographed copies of my book, Class of '86, movies, and more. Get your tickets at planetfunkcon.com. Meanwhile, on the set of a full moon film that had an alien crash landing, he wants his son to get away from these folks and hang out with the nice Richard Lynch.
Get away from my son!
You look like you run the antiques shop from Needful Things. I don't trust you. So he'll send the Germans in, which will make life better, surely. Or it'll make the movie more slapsticky. Son of a bitch, they have bricks. I'm going in. I honestly really like this one. I like it better than the first two, even if it retcons some stuff. The first was good, but had pacing issues for sure, while the second one was kind of a retread of the first. This one is a cool story of a struggling puppeteer in World War II, sought out by the Nazis to steal his serum, which he uses to then get revenge on Richard Lynch, while the puppets kill Nazis left and right. It's a fast-paced movie, it really doesn't lag, and for what it is, it's a nice-looking film. Whenever the puppets kill anyone, it's very amusing and frankly badass. Guy Rolfe is my favorite Toulon of the series too, which means my prayers were answered after making a Mr. Sardonicus reference in my Puppet Master 2 review. It only makes sense that Mr. Sardonicus himself took over as the role of Toulon. We need William Castle to pop up in here and ask, which ending would you prefer, audience? Do you want Krauss to steal the formula and get a promotion? Or do you want the puppets to murder him for a justice ending? We know you want the bastard to die.
Like looking into a mirror, is it not?
No, it's not. Like the other two, it ends with a prolonged graphic death scene of the lead villain. They string this guy up with hooks like it should be the other pinhead watching this happen too. And if that won't kill him fast enough, we'll light the rope on fire so he can fall onto a spike. If them getting away to Switzerland makes you want to see more, well, you're in luck because it ends with a teaser for the fourth film. I guess we'll shorten the title to Puppet Master 4 when it comes out in '93. Also, it's no longer a period piece and is set in the present. That'll keep the budget low, I guess. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to see more evil Richard Lynch, there's always my Manimal episode. Plus, subscribe to our channel today, and we'll see you next time.
What is this joke